Have you ever looked at someone and felt like they were ahead of you in life? Maybe it was a friend who bought a new car, a person on social media showing their perfect vacation, or a coworker who got promoted. In that moment, you felt a small voice inside you say, "I wish I had that." That feeling is very common. Most people compare themselves to others at some point. It's a natural part of being human. But when we compare too much or too often, it can make us feel unhappy, stressed, or even hopeless. We often forget that we are comparing what we know about ourselves with what we don't fully know about others. You know your own worries, your fears, your failures, and your insecurities. But when you look at someone else, you usually see only the best parts of their life. You see the success, the beauty, the smiles. You don't see the hard days, the pain, or the times they feel lost. So in a way, comparison is not fair. It's like comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. Let's imagine this more clearly. You have been working hard at your job. You've improved, learned new skills, and maybe even helped your team. You feel proud of yourself. But then, you go online and see someone you know celebrating a new job at a big company. They are smiling, dressed well, and surrounded by congratulations. Suddenly, you start to feel like you haven't done enough. That pride turns into doubt, but nothing actually changed about your progress. The only thing that changed was the way you looked at yourself after comparing. This is one of the most dangerous things about comparison. It can take a good feeling and turn it into sadness within seconds, and it doesn't stop there. The more we compare, the more we begin to focus on what we don't have. We stop seeing the good in our lives. We stop celebrating our small wins. We forget that we are growing, even if it's slowly. Social media makes this even harder. Every day we see pictures of people smiling, traveling, succeeding, and looking perfect. But those photos are carefully chosen. People share their best moments, not their real lives. They don't post about the arguments, the stress, or the nights they couldn't sleep. But still, we believe what we see. We believe that their life is always good, and we wonder why ours isn't the same. That belief creates a false idea of what life should look like, and that false idea makes us feel like we are not enough. Think about someone who always seems happy online. They post funny videos, perfect meals, and beautiful photos. You might think, they must be so happy, but you don't know what's happening when the camera is off. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they're anxious. Maybe they're trying to look strong when they're not. We all do this sometimes. We show the best parts because we want to be liked. We want to look okay, even when we're not. So remember, what you see online is only a small part of someone's real story. Another problem with comparison is that it can lead you away from your own path. When you focus too much on what others are doing, you may forget what you want. You might chase goals that are not really yours. For example, you might think you need a bigger house because someone else bought one. But do you really want it? Or do you just feel like you should want it? When we stop listening to ourselves, we start living someone else's dream. It's okay to admire others. It's okay to feel inspired by someone's success. But the key is to not let that admiration turn into self-judgment. There's a big difference between thinking, "Wow, that's great, maybe I can do that too," and thinking, "I'm not good enough because I haven't done that." The first thought can push you forward. The second one can pull you down. Happiness does not come from having more than others. It comes from being at peace with yourself. When you accept where you are and focus on your own growth, You feel more free. You stop rushing. You stop pretending. You start enjoying your own story, even with all its ups and downs. One way to reduce comparison is to practice gratitude. Every day, take a moment to think about what you already have. Maybe it's your health, your family, your small victories, or even just the fact that you tried today. Gratitude helps you see the value in your own life. It reminds you that your journey is important too. Another way is to limit the time you spend on social media, or at least change the way you use it. Instead of scrolling and comparing, follow people who make you feel good, who teach you something, or who are honest about their struggles. Make your online space a place that supports you, not one that makes you feel less. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend. Would you tell a friend they're failing just because someone else is doing well? Of course not. You'd remind them of their strengths. You'd tell them their time will come. You'd say, "You're doing fine." So why not say that to yourself? You are allowed to go at your own pace. You are allowed to have days when you feel slow or stuck. You are allowed to want different things than other people. Your life is not a race. It's a story, your story. And that story doesn't need to look like anyone else's to be beautiful. Sometimes, we compare without even noticing. It happens when we see someone walking with confidence, and we think, "I wish I looked like that." It happens when we hear a friend talk about their weekend trip, and we feel like our life is boring. It even happens when we see someone laughing loudly, and we think, "They must be happier than me." But these quick thoughts can build up over time. If we are not careful, they become beliefs. And when those beliefs grow, they can become walls inside our mind. Walls that say, "You are not enough." Let's think about this through a story. Imagine a young man named Daniel. He is a kind, hardworking person. Every day he wakes up early, goes to work, and helps his family. He doesn't complain much. He lives a simple life. One day, he opens a social media app and sees a former classmate posting pictures from a beach in another country. This classmate has a big smile, expensive sunglasses, and a caption that says, "Living my best life." Daniel looks at the photo, then looks at his own room. He feels something heavy in his chest. For a moment, he forgets everything good in his life. He forgets the times he made his mother laugh, the evening walks he enjoys, the books he loves to read. He only sees what he doesn't have. This is what comparison does. It takes your eyes away from your own blessings. The truth is, we don't all walk the same path. Some people arrive at their goals faster, others take more time. Some people have more help. Others must do everything on their own. Some were born in lucky situations, others were not. Comparing yourself without knowing the full story of someone else is like reading one page of a book and thinking you understand the whole story. Life is more complicated than that. Also, what makes someone happy is not always what makes you happy. One person might feel joy in traveling the world. Another might find peace in staying home and being with family. One person wants to start a business. Another just wants a quiet job and free evenings. Neither is better. They're just different. And that's okay. We don't all need to want the same things. One reason comparison hurts so much is because we think there is only one way to be successful. We think there is one image of happiness, one definition of success, one timeline we should follow. We tell ourselves, by this age I should have this. I should be married. I should earn more money. I should be more fit. I should be like them. These shoulds are heavy. They make us feel like we are failing even when we are doing our best. But who created those rules? Who said you must follow that exact path? The truth is, those rules are often made by society, by media, by traditions, or by the pressure we feel from others. But you are allowed to question those rules. You are allowed to write your own story. If someone becomes a doctor at age 25 and another person becomes one at 40, both are still doctors. If one person finds love at 20 and another at 50, both still find love. Life is not about how fast you go, it's about going in the right direction for you. Sometimes comparison also brings shame. You may think, I'm behind, or I've wasted time. But remember, life is not a race. It's not about beating someone else to a finish line. It's about growing into the person you are meant to be. That takes time, and everyone's timing is different. Instead of comparing, what if you focused on your own progress? Think about where you were 1 year ago, or even 6 months ago. What have you learned? What have you survived? What have you done, even if it felt small? These things matter. These things count. Even if no one claps for you, you should clap for yourself. When you feel the need to compare, take a deep breath and bring your attention back to yourself. Ask yourself, what am I doing well today? What am I proud of, even if it's small? What do I love about my own life? These questions help you shift your focus. They bring your attention to what is real and close and true. It also helps to talk to people who are honest. Real conversations remind us that no one has a perfect life. Everyone struggles. Everyone doubts themselves. Everyone has insecurities. When people share their true stories, we realize that the image we see from outside is not the full picture. And this gives us comfort. It reminds us that we're not alone. Another thing that helps is patience. We often want quick success. We want things to change fast. But most good things take time. Growth is quiet and slow. Sometimes it's invisible. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. Like seeds under the soil, your efforts may not show results today, but one day they will bloom. And when they do, you'll realize that your story was always enough, that your path, though different, had meaning, that your small steps were never really small, they were brave, they were beautiful. So when you see someone else doing well, smile for them. Celebrate them if you can. But don't forget to smile for yourself too. Your journey matters just as much. And in moments when you forget, when you feel lost or not enough, remind yourself, no one can live your life better than you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. Sometimes, the most painful comparisons are the silent ones. You don't even say the words out loud. You just feel it in your heart. You look at someone's life, their smile, their clothes, their house, or their job, and something inside you whispers, "You're not good enough." This small voice is dangerous. It steals your peace. It creates sadness that has no clear reason. You may sit quietly in your room and wonder why you feel unhappy, not realizing that all those silent comparisons have added up inside you. But there is a way out of this. There is another voice you can listen to. It is your own voice, your true voice, the one that speaks with kindness. This voice says, "You are trying your best. You are allowed to be different. You are still growing. You are not their story. You are your own. This voice might be quiet at first, but the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. When we compare, we often forget to be grateful. We forget to see what we have. Gratitude is a powerful tool. It doesn't mean you stop dreaming or wanting more, but it helps you notice what's already beautiful in your life. You might not have the biggest house, but maybe you have a warm cup of tea in your hands and a quiet evening to enjoy. You might not be rich, but maybe you have a good friend who listens to you. Gratitude shifts your attention. It changes the way you see your world. Another helpful idea is to spend less time on things that make you compare. For many people, this means spending less time on social media. It's not that social media is always bad. It can be fun and useful. But if it's making you feel small or like your life isn't enough, it's okay to take a break. Use that time to do something that makes you feel alive. Take a walk, read a book, write your thoughts, talk to someone, or just sit in silence. You don't have to keep looking at other people's highlights. Your ordinary moments are also valuable. Sometimes comparison hides behind jokes or little comments. Someone might say, "I wish I looked like her," or "He's doing much better than I am." These words may sound small, but over time they grow. It's important to catch those moments and gently change the thought. Instead of saying, "He's ahead of me," try saying, "I'm on my own path." Instead of, "She's more successful," say, "I'm learning in my own way." These small changes in language help change your mindset. There is also strength in knowing that you are not the only one who feels this way. Many people you admire, people who seem confident, also struggle with comparison. They also have days when they don't feel good enough. This is part of being human. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are just human, like everyone else. When you stop comparing, something beautiful happens. You begin to focus on your own life with more clarity. You start to notice what you like, what you need, what brings you joy. You become the center of your own story. You stop chasing someone else's dream, and you start living your own. You may also find it easier to connect with others. Comparison builds walls, but self-acceptance builds bridges. When you are at peace with yourself, it's easier to support others, to feel happy for their success, to build real friendships that are not full of jealousy or silent competition. You can say, "I'm happy for you," and really mean it, and that feels good. Of course, this is not something that changes overnight. You won't suddenly stop comparing forever, but each time you notice it, you have a choice. You can return to yourself. You can be kind to your own heart. You can say, "I'm doing my best," and that's enough. One helpful practice is to write down what you're proud of. It could be something small. Maybe you drank enough water today. Maybe you helped someone. Maybe you took a break when you needed one. These little wins matter. They remind you that you are growing step by step. You can also write about what you love about your life, not what you wish you had, but what you already have. Maybe it's the way the sunlight enters your room in the morning. Maybe it's the sound of your favorite song. Maybe it's the way your dog greets you at the door. These details, these tiny moments, they are the gold in your life. Another idea is to make a comparison journal. Every time you notice yourself comparing, write down the thought. Then ask, "Is this fair to myself? Do I really know the full story of this other person? What do I need right now? This can help you understand your emotions and respond with care, not judgment. Remember, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to become someone else. The goal is not to be the best in the world. It's to be the best version of yourself. That version might look different from others. It might grow slower. It might have ups and downs. But it's real, and that's what matters. Life is not a competition. It's a journey. Some parts are fast, some parts are slow, some parts are exciting, others are quiet. But all of it is part of your story, and your story deserves love, attention, and respect. So the next time you feel yourself comparing, pause, take a breath. Remember who you are. You are not less because someone else is more. You are not behind because someone else is ahead. You are simply on a different road, and that's okay. Your value does not come from being better than others. It comes from being true to yourself. And every step you take in your own direction is a step toward real happiness.